Let's start with quizzes. Now, this is an important course expectation. You do not need to email me if you miss a quiz. It's the program policy that we drop the lowest score of both the quantitative and the conceptual quizzes. If you miss a quiz or cannot take a quiz that week for any reason, illness, computer not working, abducted by space aliens, then we'll drop that 0. There's not an opportunity to take a makeup quiz. Next, when you take your online quiz, it's critical that you do a 360-degree scan of the room slowly and that the room is well lit. Please wear clothes. Do not ask me why I'm telling you this. Remember that the quiz is being monitored, so if you pick your nose or something like that, someone might see it. Please don't ask me how I know about that. Also, no beverages on your desk. You can see on the screen that there's a template available for printing cheat sheets onto beverage bottles, so please be sure that your desk is completely clear. You cannot use an electronic device of any type during a quiz. That means headphones, Apple Watch, your cell phone, a tablet, a TV, etc. You will use the on-computer calculator that's available, so no other devices will be needed. Having your phone in your lap, out of view, and asking Siri for help is a bad life choice as well. The software we use for quiz monitoring flags behavior like this, including your devices, and I review each notification. It's very time-consuming, but if anything shows up as a possible risk or a critical factor, I have to look at it. If you glance excessively to the side, you will likely lose credit for that quiz because it appears that you're looking at notes. So please try to be cognizant and look only at the screen. Now, it's important that you take these quizzes early. Now, I know you have from Saturday at 12:01 a.m. until 11:59 p.m. on Sunday evening. Each quiz is 15 minutes long. You want to ensure that you take your quizzes early enough in case you have technical difficulties so that you can call FIU's Canvas support. They can be reached at 877-3-ELEARN or at canvas.fiu.edu/support. I recommend calling if it's related to your quiz. And if you email me about a quiz or technical difficulties, I'm really not able to troubleshoot. That's not my area of expertise, and that's why we provide you with these contacts. Having technical difficulties on your end does not excuse you or extend the deadline on a quiz. It's your responsibility to start early so that you have time to call LMS support if you have a problem. Certifications are an important part of this class. For HubSpot certificates, you'll need to submit a PDF of your certificate on Canvas. I do not accept screenshots of your score unless you fail to achieve certification. For Google Ads, there's now a profile that shows all of the certificates you've earned. You will submit a link to your public profile to earn credit. To earn full points, you must submit what is required on Canvas. Email deliverables are not accepted, and your submission is only considered when it's what's requested, like a PDF or a link. If I have to go back and ask you to submit correctly after the deadline, there could be a penalty. Always double-check the directions on an assignment and confirm that your assignment submitted correctly. If you earn certification and submit it before the deadline, you'll get 100% of the points for the certificate deliverable. If you fail to reach certification, you have two options. You can submit a screenshot of your best attempt and get partial credit, the percentage score you got correct, or you can turn in the certification later, assuming that you will be able to pass it. Now be careful on this option. I've seen it backfire. If you don't reach certification within 10 days, you won't get any credit. Remember, there's a 10% per day late policy that begins at 12 a.m. the day after an assignment. So imagine a certification is due at 11:59 p.m. Friday night. At midnight, the late penalty kicks in. So that means you need to be cognizant and submit your certifications early to ensure they're posted on Canvas before the deadline. And a successful submission is based on the time at which you submit, not the time you completed that certification. That's not how deadlines work, and I've had to have that conversation before. Remember, we give you the opportunity to turn in work late because we know life happens, family emergencies, work trips, travel delays, etc. The ability to turn in a deliverable late is a courtesy, and it's much better than the consequences in the real marketing world where you might be looking for a new job or client. I don't anticipate this will be an issue this semester, but it's really important to review elements of an academic integrity, particularly as I've touched on it on a couple of assignments. It's also really important to me that you take this seriously. Cheating, as defined by FIU, has nothing to do with intent, but about the actions a student takes. If you use aids or other assistance during a quiz, that's considered cheating under the student honor policy. If you accidentally pull out your phone during a quiz, that would actually qualify. That means use of electronic devices and notes. If you're doing a quiz that has SPSS and you turn in the output from another student, that's also considered cheating. And we can also check this easily. Don't do that. Plagiarism is a common pitfall as well. If you pick up text from a web page or document and insert it into your client assignment, or worse, your weekly application, it's going to be flagged by our plagiarism software. Beyond that, it's a really good way to make a positive professional connection to cite people and link to their work. If you use somebody's ideas, you need to cite or link to them. For instance, you refer to Richard Branson's top tips for succeeding, but you never mention his name. That's plagiarism. It's about ideas and words. Many times, plagiarism occurs because people are lazy or in a rush. Be thoughtful about your words and your work, and this will be a non-issue. Also, if you have a paid subscription to Grammarly, there's plagiarism detection built in. Use this tool, it's very helpful. And I feel really, really awful when I have to have these conversations. Accidents can have huge consequences. For digital marketing students, using a company's or a school's logo, trademarks, or service marks is considered computer misuse. Here's an example. You send out your email A/B test, but you use a template that looks like it's from FIU or the MSM program. Even though it has your name, it has the FIU logo and looks official. Or you create a landing page in HubSpot for our client. Unfortunately, that you let that landing page go live and it looks like it's from that client. They see it and their lawyers are unhappy. It's really beyond unhappy because both are covered by the U.S. law around wire fraud, felonies if convicted. So be very, very careful. Like I said, I really hate having these discussions. And, it's hard to argue that, yeah, I understand it was a mistake, but it was a very costly mistake. And as I said earlier, test everything. Be sure the template you use and that you want to use is what's actually going to send. And if you're mocking up a landing page for the client, make sure it doesn't go live. I love teaching and I love seeing students learn the exciting and dynamic field of digital marketing. I know you're all busy, but don't let a dumb mistake or being in a rush become an accident that has huge consequences for your academic career. If you have a question, visit integrity.fiu.edu or just email me before you hit send. So, some final words before we dive into the content of the course. This will be a tough semester. You are taking 2 courses that require you to keep up with multiple deadlines and consume a lot of material. It's hard, but that's graduate school. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. And yes, we understand it's 16 weeks crammed into 8. That's how this program works. Please allow 24 hours for me to respond to your email. Sending a second email will not speed up my reply, but may actually slow down response times. I provide a lot of information on Canvas, and deadline information is put in multiple places. Before you email, make sure you've checked Canvas, looked at the syllabus, looked at the assignment information on Canvas. If I haven't answered your question, email away. This should go without saying, but you have to watch all the lecture videos and read the content that's posted. That means actively listening and taking notes. If you're doing laundry or not paying attention, you will miss nuances that make a huge difference. And what's on screen matters. Also, I do not use a textbook, but I do post relevant industry material. The readings are not excessive, but I expect you to complete them. If you email me asking what's on a quiz, I will simply refer you back to the Canvas modules for the week in question. Read material for understanding and synthesis, not memorization. I don't need to know dates or percentages, but I need you to demonstrate that you consumed the material, that you understood the key concepts, and that you can contrast and compare strategies for future decision making. If you write an answer that is intuitively correct but does not demonstrate that the materials were consumed, the answer will likely get few points, if any. I will provide you with feedback to ensure that you continually improve. I encourage you to practice along the way. Practice the quantitative concepts and writing short paragraphs on the conceptual material. Tie to the lectures. Be specific. Be relevant. Be concise. And be insightful. For the weekly application posts, don't play the 100 game. It may be fun or easy to hit exactly 100 words, but for a hiring manager reading your work, it will be uninspiring. Take your blog posts seriously. They should reflect the critical thinking and attention to detail you'd want your next boss to be wowed by. 100 words on what I learned in class won't do it. Cite or link to everything. You don't want to ever have your work be called into question. And again, please be patient with me on emails. I go through my emails in batches at the beginning and the end of the day because I'm usually working on research. 9 times out of 10, the answer's on Canvas. If it's not, be patient. I promise to reply. And we're in this together. I want you to do well in the course and in your career. That will require you to focus on understanding the materials and the requirements for the submissions. You have my commitment to support you and to provide the latest and greatest content that marketers are tackling and struggling with right now. If you do the work, you'll be richly rewarded in your career. Now, that's enough with the terms and conditions. Let's dig into digital marketing.